Hello, Mavs fans. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm Kirk Henderson, joined by Josh Bowe. We are coming to you here Friday night. It's about 10:15 on November 21st. It's a Friday. The Mavericks won 118 to 115. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, this is their first win. Oh, they broke. They're not. They got to win. Sorry, they got to win a couple. Last week against Portland. So, yeah, it's a nice change of pace. That's 2 wins in 2 weeks, which was better than the rate they were going at before. So
yeah. And, I wrote in the recap to the last game that I don't think the Mavericks are a 4-12 team. I also don't think they're like an 8-8 team. There's probably 2 games out of these because they played a ton of clutch games just based on like sheer variance of shooting. They probably should have won 1 or 2 more. And this is sort of proof positive of that concept because the Mavericks, I don't know if they should have won this game.
yeah.
So walk me through the game because I was watching, but it was on my phone in the first half. The Mavs looked like they were down double digits for most of this, like 2/3 of the game.
Yeah, they were down double digits for most of. Yeah, I mean they were down 9 in the first quarter and down double digits for most of the second. Entered the half down 14. They couldn't stop New Orleans at all. They were not ready to start this game. I mean, the one thing we've been talking about ad nauseum is the team plays hard, even if they stink. And that's why, you look at their schedule, they've lost 12 games. Only 3 of the 12 losses have been blowouts.
Yes.
I mean, they win or lose. It's not like they have a lot of blowout wins either. I mean, but they scrap and they fight in every game. And even if they stink, they're going to make you earn it in a way. They didn't start like that this game. They were totally unprepared for Jeremiah Fears and the speed the Pelicans had on the perimeter. Zion Williamson playing like, I know he just came back from his injury. Yeah. But it was like they didn't have him in the scouting report. Like they just and they didn't. It looked like they weren't ready for Fears either. Fears had a really good first half. And then it looks like they got to halftime and Kid kind of, I don't know if Kid yelled at him or they were like, hey, what is this? Like, maybe we don't win this game, but like say what you will about the Mavericks. They are not 14 points worse than this New Orleans Pelicans team. Like they're not. I don't care how bad you think this team is. They're not that bad.
That's what I was wondering at half because I'm sitting there looking at it and
no, they weren't ready. They were like going around screen. They weren't fighting through screens. They were guarding Fears like he was like a 40-year-old man, and Fears was kind of darting into the paint and getting whatever he wanted. And they were losing guys on backdoor cuts. The Pelicans were killing in the paint, and Pelicans killed them in the paint all night. The Mavericks gave up 64 points in the paint, so that didn't necessarily get that much better. I mean, it got better in the second half, for sure. I mean, that's the only reason why they won. That's the only reason why they won the game. But yeah, that first half they weren't ready to play this game, I don't think. And then the second half, it was a totally different story, and they kept making threes. This is the second straight game where they've made threes. So when your opponent misses all of their threes and you make most of yours, you're gonna win.
Yeah. Okay. So the Mavericks finished 16 of 43 from 3, 37%. That's like, I don't even know what league average is, but the Mavericks before this game,
league average is usually around 34, 35.
The Mavericks before this game, because I had this morning, I was taking a look at, wonder if it's still in my screenshots here. I was looking at, kind of what the, just, I do this for every game sort of, and try to figure out, just, it's as the season goes on, it gets a little less useful because the statistics don't change as much. But because we're in the first, 20% of the, or 25% of the season, it ends up being pretty indicative of just like how the last several games have gone. So let me find this here. The Mavericks are, where is this? Why can't I find this? Am I that bad at my data point finding?
Are you trying to see what they were from 3 for the season?
For the season, yeah. Like
they're close to 30%, right? Like 30, 31, somewhere. Yeah, here it is. I mean, I don't have the number.
I do. Okay, they're up. This is important.
Yeah, they've been good last
31.4%, and they've been at a certain point they were hovering at 29%. It's 11 made threes a game because they still shoot a whole bunch, even though they can't hit any of them.
16-44 against the Knicks, and now 43, almost.
So when you go 37%, which is realistically like 2 more makes a game, but that 6-point swing ends up being a difference in a game that's narrow.
Yeah, to win a game that you win by 3.
Yeah. So I tuned in right in the middle of the third quarter when the Mavericks. Was it third quarter? Maybe it was tail end of the third quarter. The Mavericks finally tied the game. It was like the first time they had taken the lead since 5-4. That was when I really was able to lock in. So you're welcome, everyone. I am why the Mavericks won. But from there, it just seemed like a game of who would have the ball last to a certain extent, because neither team was able to hold much of a lead down the stretch. Seemed like kind of 4 points at most. Like the Mavericks would get up by 4, the Pelicans would get up by 4, and then things would come back down to earth, because like the thing that I think is important to explain tonight is that the Mavericks survived despite a catastrophic number of turnovers. Like they turned the ball over 20 times. And there was a guy
normally win games like that.
Who said this to us today? Because there was a really smart tweet that we got from one of our regulars.
Yeah, I need to write on it. It was really
Michael Way. Yeah, he said this to us today. I'm just going to read his tweet verbatim. Being totally unable to take care of the ball, offensive rebound, or shoot means you are losing the math battle virtually every night. And I don't want to shit on this because it's like a win. A win is important.
But look how they won. They made more threes.
Yes,
and they had more offensive rebounds. So they won 2 out of those 3. They lost turnovers, but they won 2 out of those 3 categories.
But due to the makeup of the roster and like the skill set of the roster, they roll out every night negative in those areas.
Right. And that's math. Like that's 3 is worth more than 2, and then offensive rebounds and turnovers, that's possessions. Like you can't consistently win if the other team has more opportunities to score than you, like regardless of how well you're playing defense or offense. If the other team shoots the ball way more than you because you give up offensive rebounds and you turn the ball over, like you're going to like that just puts you down.
Well, and
it's like playing with one arm tied behind your back.
And again, because I didn't watch the first half, there's been a couple of comments in the chat about Brandon Williams' first half play. Like one of those stupid D'Angelo Russell accounts was making fun of him, because why would you waste your time other than to be a D'Angelo Russell account? And so what is the deal with him in the first half? What were you seeing?
I mean, he was passing the ball okay, but he had 12 assists.
Jesus, 1 of 12.
Yeah, he couldn't shoot, and he had some really. I mean, his 6 turnovers, like they were not like ball gets knocked out of bounds or something. Like a lot of them were live ball.
The worst
directly. Catastrophic turnovers. Yeah. There was one in the first half where he just made a really lazy pass at the top of the key when the Pelicans were like in the passing lanes, and that immediately led to a transition scoring opportunity that New Orleans converted. Like just really bad passes, but he did have his moments. I mean, I know in game plus minus is whatever. He was a +1.
To finish with a +1 despite being 1 of 12 with 6 turnovers is not nothing.
I mean, he was driving the ball again. He was keeping the engine moving, even if at times he was self-sabotaging and throwing a monkey wrench into the engine himself.
Yep.
He kept being persistent, and his speed makes a difference. And it just loosened everything up. I mean, you think about how many threes the Mavericks got. You don't get that many threes without touching the paint a little bit and collapsing the defense and driving. So that helped. Although the Mavericks did not score a lot of points in the paint. They had 40?
Yeah.
And a lot of that came in the fourth quarter from Coop. The Pelicans, I don't know how you didn't get to watch all game. Like Derek Queen did not move on defense in this game, like at all. Like the Mavericks would use his man to set a screen, and Derek Queen would be literally underneath the rim, not even close to the like the action. Like his guy would go set a screen, and Derek Queen would just be like, all right, see you later. So the Mavericks had the opportunity to just walk into open threes because New Orleans was kind of chasing around the screen. And the Pelicans were basically like, okay, Queen is not mobile defensively. They basically gambled. They're like, this is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. We're going to give you threes. We're not going to. Derek Queen's not going to leave the paint, and you got to make threes to beat us. And the Mavericks did.
I wonder. And someone in the chat notes, great setup, Josh. Your audio sounds amazing. I have the same setup that I need to set up. Anyway.
It helps when you go from headset gamer microphone to a real microphone.
Well, so the one thing about Queen's a young man too. He's a little hefty.
Awesome.
He's awesome. He is awesome on offense, but he's also like, they're gonna put, like, you wonder if they're keeping him away from the beignets because he's a big boy. Like, it says he's 250 pounds. I weigh 240 pounds. The fuck out of here that he's 250. Planet are we on?
He doesn't look like he doesn't look like but he looks like a college, he looks like he just came out of college.
There's this huge kid who just signed, a 7'1" kid who signed his letter of intent or whatever it is to play at the University of Houston. And one of the guys in our chat, David said, he's like, well, he's like 40 pounds overweight. It's like, well, you know what? And I know you don't know much about college, but it's like, well, what will happen when you go play at the University of Houston is Kelvin Sampson will run you until you are in shape. But anyway, I just like bigger. I kind of like the return of bigger NBA dudes, like heavy guys, because like being in shape is so overrated. But Queen is like, he's a must watch for me. I mean, he had 11 assists.
Yeah, he was incredible, and I think like 8 of them were in the first quarter. Like, he had a really awesome alley-oop to Zion. Like, he's great. I kind of hate that everyone's like comparing him to Jokic. Like, I get it. Like, he's a big.
Even Jokic is like, yeah, he's got his own deal. Let him do his own deal.
Well, yeah, it's just people act like good passing big men didn't exist before you. Like it's okay. There's been a lot of them. That's right. You don't just have to go to Jokic, but that's neither here nor there. Queen's awesome. The one thing he's got to learn though, he's got to stop taking the ball so down low when he tries to score. He tries to do these little scoop layups when he beats his man, and he's just bringing the ball so low, like PJ Washington.
Oh, you mean like literally low, like down to his
yeah, like when he's trying to score a layup, and he's beat his man, and instead of just taking the ball up, he's like scooping it, and PJ Washington like blocked him violently a couple times. Lively had a block on him because it's like, why? Like he beat the one PJ blocked. He beat PJ, but he kept the ball so low on his gather. PJ was able to swat it.
For anyone that has never played in the post, let's just assume some of our listeners have never played in the post. Keeping the ball high is like one of the things coaches start yelling at you about in middle school. So that's why Josh is making this point. But anyway, Fears, him and Fears preposterous. Like Fears just going coast to coast. He's so fast and
he's so fast.
He was the guy, I probably mentioned this last time, but he was the guy I hoped would fall with the Mavericks, and it's just they went and got him. And he's going to be annoying to deal with. Like, it's worth talking about just since, like, again, we're praising the Mavericks, but like Najee Marshall fucking with him and like trying to fight a 19-year-old at the end of the game. Like, very funny.
Very funny.
Also very, like, a little bit lame, but the Mavericks are so bad right now, I don't really care. We're just going to enjoy it. Yep.
Man, speaking of, we've talked about a rookie.
Let's wait till after the break. We're almost at the break. We do this on purpose, guys. We want you to stick around. While you're here, let's just go ahead and kick the break. So there's 3 ways to support Pod Maverick, and I'm going to go in a different order every night. The first way that you can support Pod Maverick is tell your friends. People listen to our show in the wild, and sometimes it's been several years, and I'm still not used to the fact that actual human being people listen to our show. So if you are an actual human, tell someone else about it, because this is a show for fans who like hearing their team in as honest a terms as possible. The second way of supporting the show is listening to the ads. I got, that's the ad. They can tell this stuff with advertising, and that's how we get paid. And then the third way, I got a great message. Who sent this to me? Shoot. I got a great message today from someone who sent us a donation from gave to the Venmo. It's a donation. It's you're sending us money. We appreciate it. If you want to support us directly, there's links in the show. And I got a message to, where is this, from someone. I want to give him a shout out because his message literally made me laugh out loud. From Ben Fierros, and he says $10 for the ad skipping tax. So if really, that one was really funny. So it's if, any amount goes to Josh and I, we split it. So we thank you for your support. We're going to insert those ads and we will be right back. Okay. Thank you for waiting. This has been Kirk and Josh. We're here at Pod Maverick After Dark. I'm going to do a rare Mavs party right after this one. The Mavericks play tomorrow though, so we'll try to keep things a little short. All right, let's talk about the man of the hour, who is just like, I don't know where to start other than I kind of want to start with his clutch time bucket and work backwards over fears. I mean, this guy has so many clutch baskets right now. Cooper Flagg does. He's putting a ceiling on him feels so funny because he's so good, and he's so like a mix of old school and new school, like a career high 29 points, really efficient shooting, and he still didn't hit a three. I mean, let's talk. You talk about him because you obviously watched more than I did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this was it. This was his best game. I mean, this is the ideal. Like, I know everyone's been kind of bitching about his usage, and it's been fair to question. Like, this was perfect. I mean, he led the team in shot attempts. He got to the free throw line 6 times. He was clearly the focal point whenever he's on the floor. Couple stretches where he, kind of didn't touch the ball a lot, but not that big a deal. Like, within the flow of the game, I mean, the Mavericks offense was pretty good tonight. So it's not like there was long stretches where the Mavericks were like, throwing up bricks and he was just standing around doing nothing. Like, he was involved when he needed to be. And in the fourth quarter, it was very clearly his game. Like, I mean, they were drawing stuff up for him and getting him downhill and catching off a handoff or catching right into a pick and roll, or doing something that was really smart where he was coming off a down screen into the pick and roll. So they weren't just walking the ball up, giving him the ball and letting him run a pick and roll. They were having him run off a screen into the pick and roll. So when he catches the ball, he's already moving. And when that dude gets ahead of steam, I mean, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but like it's LeBron like in the way that, like, when he has the step, his strength and combined with his quickness, it's like it's over. Like, you can't, like, once he gets to that point, it's not like you've lost the possession. Like, the way you prevent it, the way you stop it is you prevent him from getting that catch so cleanly and being able to run downhill like a freight train. Like, he's got that freight train-esque ability with the ball in his hands when he's trying to score in the paint that really, like, seriously reminds me of LeBron. Obviously he needs to bulk up a bit, but like, he's got that strength. I've talked about it before where guys just like bounce off of him, and like, not just other rookies, like NBA veterans are guarding him and just flying off of him, when he's going into the paint. So it was a concentrated effort to get him the ball, which is good because, like we've said, that's been an issue. He was 10 of 12 in the paint. He was 6 of 7 in the restricted area for the game. In the fourth quarter, he was 2 of 3 in the restricted area and 3 of 4 in the paint. So again, like, it was his game, and then the fourth quarter was his. Got to the free throw line, made his free throws, 5 of 6. Didn't make any threes, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Like, literally doesn't matter with how good he is right now attacking the bucket. Obviously, it's going to matter eventually, but like in this game, it didn't matter.
Let me ask you something, because this is a pure. I've not looked at any numbers. I don't know. I could be very wrong here. Do you feel that he goes left more than one would think for a right-handed player? And number 2, do you think because he goes left so frequently, that is putting defenders at a disadvantage?
Ooh, that's a good point. I don't know. I mean, he went right a couple times in the fourth tonight for some of his big buckets. I think he seems comfortable going either way. That's for sure.
Oh, he's very I mean, the right hand is a given. And guys, the reason I'm bringing this up is most people are right-handed. Okay. So in basketball, when you're defending someone, you're taught to sit on their dominant hand more than anything else and force them to go to their weaker hand. And I am just sort of broaching this for the broader audience because I have to assume that Cooper has been forced to go left so much that he's learned to enjoy it, because he had one there. He caught the ball at the right elbow. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like a high post feed from another center where he catches the ball right inside the elbow. He faces up and just power drives left, one dribble, and what you were talking about, bouncing off them. So
it's incredible. He had that awesome footwork when he got stuck on the right side of the floor in the fourth quarter and did like 2 pirouettes and spins while keeping his pivot foot down, and then scored. Hit like a banker from like right outside the paint, like on, right outside the block, which is a very like awkward shot. Like that's not an easy shot at all. And he nailed it.
Do you want to hear that Jack just posted? This is great. Our guy, Snack Protein, Jack, he says Cooper Flagg has more clutch time points than Kevin Durant this year.
I believe it. I also
Josh wasn't stunned. He was yawning for anyone.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Excuse me. That's a great stat, but also I don't think Houston's played a lot of clutch minutes.
That's exactly right.
Because they've been kicking
teams to death. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been kicking the shit out of teams, but that's still fun. That's a fun stat. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we talked.
The Mavericks did not lead for more than like 12 minutes this entire game. That's
like I said, they weren't ready to play the game. Like they had to, that third quarter Avalanche, like they won the third quarter 36-22, and they were still trailing, and like they or was tied going to the fourth. Like they had to expend a lot of energy to get back in the game because they did not start the game the right way. I'm sure they'd be the first to admit it. I mean, the way they came out in the second and the third quarter just like felt like that proved it. Like it seemed very clear that there was a conversation had somewhere in that locker room where it was like, guys, like, what are we doing here? I mean, so this would have been the second loss to New Orleans at home. New Orleans has 2 wins on the season. You were on the verge of giving this team 2 of their 3 wins on the season, and both of them being on your home floor. Like that's like, if they would have lost this game, we would have been coming in here like being like, this season's over, trade everyone tomorrow, fire all the coaches. Like that's the kind of loss they were headed towards. So for the sake of everyone's sanity, everyone can be chill on the internet for 24 hours until tomorrow's game and go from there.
Which the Memphis Grizzlies are such a bizarre team. They beat.
You want to talk about a mess?
Yeah, the Kings and the bottom of the West is just ugly. And I think I got a couple of people that are still like, oh well, the Mavericks could make a run, and I don't really want to argue because I'm not like I sort of keep what my line of approach is going to be. I want them to win every game while losing the season. That's where I feel. I mean, serious. Like they're not making the playoffs. They're playing. It does nothing for them. That's neither here nor there. But every game I'm rooting for them to win at the time. And this is just one of these games where it's like tomorrow night they'll be playing a Memphis team that beat a Kings team that is even more rudderless than the Mavericks by 40 points. And I'm pretty sure Morant and Triple J didn't play in that game. I could be mistaken. It's just
Jackson. I think Jackson played.
Played okay.
I mean, with the way he's been playing this season, you could argue he's been pretty invisible.
So it's like if the Mavericks get their asses whooped tomorrow night,
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either, because they just play close. They play close. And I think where the challenge is going to be for everyone to understand is that like when you effort can overcome a lot night in and night out. It's when you don't have the skills. It eventually, like if this were a 40-minute game every night, like a college-based game, kind of think the Mavericks would have a better win-loss record right now. I just do. 48 minutes is a long fucking time. And over that time period, we see it in a lot of games. Talent wins out. Or team assembly, whatever you want to call it. So just kind of the Mavericks are in a little bit of a tough spot there. So I don't know, man. I'd be, if they win tomorrow night, great. It's after that where things get hilarious. And at that point, we just kind of are going to throw our hands up and say, all right.
Yeah, if you're on Team Tank, just leave everyone alone that's enjoying the win
right now. That's right. Great
because after Saturday, Team Tank, my prediction is you will be more than satisfied.
It's
for
not.
the next 3 weeks.
It's not tanking if you're just losing.
Right. So just let everyone have this game. Let everyone have tomorrow. Like I would assume they're going to win tomorrow. Yeah. I know my predictions kind of suck ass, but I know that's like the bit now. But if the Mavericks win tomorrow too, if you're Team Tank, don't start yelling at people and starting fights and getting mad and being like, what are they doing? They're throwing away their future. It's not even Thanksgiving. The schedule after tomorrow night. Like I think I would, if I was a betting man, Team Tank will get their wish. Although, like you said, the players aren't tanking. Like they're going to play hard, but it's going to naturally take care of itself here.
The Mavericks are now, what are they? They're 5-12.
Yeah.
So 17 games. Through 17 games, there is one game where I was like, that was a waste of my time. And it was the Timberwolves game. That was the one game where I'm really like, the Mavericks just don't have it, and they aren't playing very hard. And that was it. Like the Knicks game was fun. That the stretch at home, like where the Mavericks played Milwaukee, Phoenix, Clippers, Portland, and they finally won the Portland game. Like that was fun. Or it's at least like and if it's not fun for you the whole game, and I think you and I have talked about this both.
If it's not fun for you, don't watch. By the way,
that's true too.
Don't watch.
But it's like someone asked, like, what am I watching for? Like, meaning what
Cooper,
if
Cooper
for sure, Cooper and Christie
and Cisse when he plays and Lively,
sure. and or any of these guys playing well enough to where is to where they deserve. If they ask, hey, put me in a better situation, will they do it? Like. What did we think about the D'Angelo Russell-less Mavericks tonight? That's a question that I have.
I don't know, because again, Brandon Williams was really bad for some stretches. I mean, where you felt it was they didn't have, love or hate Russell. Like they didn't really have a backup point guard.
They need him. They need him.
Yeah, they just need an inning. Like even if you think Russell's the worst player in the world, like you need an innings eater at guard. And I don't know, even as much as I like Brandon Williams, I don't know if he needs to be playing 28 minutes a night. Even though the bench actually did pretty good. Point Najee was effective. He had 5 assists and 2 turnovers.
Well, and I think that's because he really likes playing his former team, and whatever was wrong with D'Lo, it wouldn't have shocked me if they were like, all right, D'Lo's not feeling great. We're gonna let him try to rest up and play tomorrow. Right. Because like where Russell has killed them for me, this is my opinion. I could be wrong. I know a lot of people are frustrated by his passing or lack of passing at some cases. I am more frustrated about the quality of shots he's taking.
Yeah, the shot selection.
The shot selection is more ass for me. Like he can run an offense. He goes through these stretches where he has, repeat like great playmaking stuff. And that's the sort of thing that no one else in the Mavericks has, including Brandon Williams. So I'll accept some of this. It's just if they're going to try to work with him on something, he's got to work on the garbage shot selection. That's all.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's the Brandon Williams experience we talked about in the summer. He's going to have games where he's awesome, and he's going to have games where you rip your hair out. And like, as bad as he's been at times, he's had a handful of games where you're like, wow. And he almost won that Knicks game, and he almost won. I think he won. He had 30 points in that Clippers game. So he'll do that, and then he'll have a game where he goes 2 of 15 with 4 to 5 turnovers, and you're like, what the hell? And it's like, well, you signed him for the mid-level exception or whatever. So like that's just what's gonna happen. Same with Brandon Williams. Like he was a G League guy. Mm-hmm. He was a 2-way guy last year. Like obviously you liked him and liked what he did, but like it's not gonna be perfect every game. I know he's been struggling for a little bit, but it's good. It's still better than what they were doing before. Cause at least Brandon Williams shot 1 of 12 tonight and had 6 turnovers, but like I don't think you get Cooper Flagg's performance tonight without that proper floor balance and like everyone playing their correct position. Like you just kind of have to eat it, like eating your vegetables.
So let me ask you one last thing, and then we can get out of Dodge. Do you have any desire for the Dante Exum news from yesterday?
I mean, it's just another. It's another mark on what was maybe the worst 9 months a professional basketball team has been run in the history of the league.
Just a true upper decker.
Like seriously, starting with the Luka Doncic trade, going all the way to Nico Harrison's firing. I mean, the amount of roster building mistakes crammed into that time is astounding. From the catastrophic Luka to the not as catastrophic but really awful Quentin Grimes trade, and then to something like this, the Dante Exum stuff. Not being able to sign guys because they reached the apron when everyone was hurt.
They have two guys on the roster that aren't going to play. Like, I'm just assuming Kyrie's going to sit. I maybe I'm wrong, but if that's the case, they literally have two guys under contract who won't play a single minute this year. That's tough. Anyway,
yeah,
it's a bit of an upper decker for me. Just like somebody, he just totally and one of the things that I will want to revisit eventually is I think we sort of have to question how much of the previous stuff that the Mavericks did was his responsibility, because and we're never really going to know that unless Mark Cuban gives us his side of things, and I probably won't believe Mark's either. Where it seems like, according to McMahon's story, that Nico positioned himself to say every single thing that we did was my doing, essentially from the purchase of the team forward, which, Kyrie was very clearly something he pushed for, but it makes you wonder, it for me at least, because Cuban's apparently last real dealing with the team trade wise was the PJ trade, the PJ and the Gafford stuff. That was the last time he was sort of involved in decision making. And then from there on out, you look at what the Mavericks did, and everything from there on out was not great. Everything. So, and most of it's Luka, but it's also what's his name tonight that played 8 useless minutes and committed 3 fouls. So, all right,
Martin.
Yeah, Caleb Martin. All right, so let's do this. You go forth since you get to edit. Our guy Jonathan, who doesn't write very much for us, is now 2-0 when he writes. So I'm gonna have to sass him. So we'll see how we did here. I'm going to do Mavs Party. So those of you who are in the room, go ahead and hang out, and we will be right back and see you guys. For anybody who skips that show, I don't blame you. It's okay. We'll be back tomorrow night, and go Mavs. Bye, guys. Hello, friends. Welcome to Pod Mavericks Mavs Party. It is our group celebration, which we've not gotten to do enough of. This is just the 5th time in the 2025-26 season, because the Dallas Mavericks defeated the New Orleans Pelicans 118-115 in a fun, fast-paced game where both very bad teams were, I don't know, sometimes 2 wrongs make a right. I missed a healthy portion of it. I had it on my phone, but I was somewhere else. So it's like I'm watching here and there. So remember, this is the show you can join. There is a StreamYard link in the show notes. All you do is click it through your phone, through your computer, whatever it is you want to do. And we can talk a little hoop and hang out for a bit. And if no one wants to join, then maybe I'll just close up shop and go to bed early, because Dallas plays tomorrow night against the Memphis Grizzlies. I sort of said this last night in the sense of, I was like, oh, I don't think anybody's going to join. Not last night, Wednesday night. And then we ended up having a show for an hour and a half. Hey, look at that. 3 people joined. First, longtime friend of the show, all around great guy, Glenn. What's up, brother?
Evening, Kirk. How you doing? Great game.
Good. I went to a high school football game tonight. Got to see some old friends, and then was being a weirdo with my phone out watching the Mavs. But I kind of wins for everybody. I had a nice evening, and getting to watch a game where the Mavericks actually finished one was pleasant.
Did your team win the high school football game?
Yes, very fun. I don't know what they feed these children, but all of them are enormous, and it's alarming to me. I don't, these kids nowadays they're blessed with protein and the correct exercises, apparently, because all of these children were 16 to 18 look like they could go play for the Mavs. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? But it was fun.
Yeah, I went to Richardson High School. We never had anybody good. Never won any games.
That was the matchup. Coppell versus Richardson High.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They had a really nice football team. It was a fun, I mean, Coppell won, but it was a great game. Like it was it was somewhere over in Carrollton, and the crowds were filled, and it was nice. It was nice. They had like one of those old school running backs with the neck thing. And
nice.
it was great. I had a good time watching the teams. So
go Eagles.
That's
way to
so
go.
funny. I forgot. I knew that too. I just forgotten it.
All right, let me go to my notes here. I don't have too much to say here, but first off, Cooper Flagg. Oh man. You know what I did not do tonight is I did not scream at my TV set, "Come on, Coop, just shoot. Just shoot."
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He was efficient tonight too. How many shot attempts did he even have? I'm going back to look at the box score. Cooper Flagg had 19 shot attempts. I wonder if that's his most. I'm going to go look at the game log. So he definitely put the shot. I mean, he made 12. That's pretty solid. That's pretty good.
Well, as you've pointed out many times, when he is going towards the basket, he's virtually unstoppable. He's going to make most of his shots in those situations. When he does his spin around, he tries to be Luka sometimes, right? Where he'll fade back and he'll shoot off his back foot while he's fading, and he doesn't make those. And maybe he will at some point, but right now it's all about going forward. And you see what they do kind of is they wait until the fourth quarter before they totally cut him loose. And then they say, this is clutch time, go towards the basket and make your shots. And it's a joy to watch.
I really think so too, because, I'm trying to think of a player that we've had like this, that attacks the basket like this with sort of a reckless authority. And I can't, maybe Jerry Stackhouse when he would get a head full of steam, but Jerry still liked to sort of size up. I mean, is it early stage like Michael Finley in the early 2000s when he would really attack the rim like this? Because you remember Finn in his day was a monster.
Yeah.
And I love guys that attack the rim. And Luka, of course, attacked the rim, but he was so busy absorbing contact that he would never get up like this. He would just he would, it's just a different style, and both are really fun to watch. But I will tell you right now, I'm still in the absolute honeymoon stage and watching Cooper drive downhill.
And of course, in my role as the oldest Mavericks fan around, I would point you to Mark Aguirre in terms of the guy that he was the consummate small forward. He played the position the way a small forward was supposed to do it. He posted up a lot, but he also just made a lot of shots where he was going towards the basket. I was watching earlier in the beginning. I was just, sort of thinking team tank. I don't want to see the team tank. I don't enjoy watching that, but I do understand, conceptually speaking, the idea that this has to be the year to do it because of the draft situation. But I started dividing up the team into guys I actually enjoy watching, and then guys I wouldn't notice if they were gone.
Okay.
And then guys I want gone. Yeah. Okay. So
sure.
The guys that I absolutely adore and enjoy watching, of course, starts with Cooper. Landlord, I hope we do not trade him ever. He's young. He's great. He's a guy that you can build around a young roster, and he goes out there like a warrior every night, ready to play. I love Gafford. So Landlord, Flagg, Max Christie is really turning out to be more than just a throw-in, right? What an amazing thing it is to watch him grow and shoot three-pointers. And he's occasionally starting to dribble and move forward. Najee is always fun. I think he's underrated because he's got that great little what do they call it? The giant killer or teardrop?
Yeah. No, his floater is incredible.
Yeah. PJ is always awesome. B. Will, I love. You talked about the reasons that he gets these frustrating.
Well, I just think he's scoutable at this point, where it's just his solution to everything is go as fast as hell at the basket, and that just becomes a thing where it's all right, well, we'll funnel him here and then block him.
Yeah. You're not going to get much from him to trade anyway, but keep him. And then Cisse, I guess we just didn't have a spot for him tonight. Did I mention PJ? Of course, PJ. So that's your 7 guys to me that is like, please play those guys every night and I'll keep watching. I would not notice, of course. You forgot Martin's name earlier, so
I
that
always
definitely
forget his
puts
name.
him.
I don't know why. It's like I hate them. I hated the trade so much. I must have a mental block on like the ability to say the man's name. I don't mean to be that kind of disrespectful.
Well, but he's unnoticeable out there. Remember on the show Arrested Development, the son's girlfriend was so boring that they couldn't remember her name ever.
It's a good running bit. That's exactly what this is. Yes.
Yeah, that's Martin. He's so boring and unnoticeable in there that you forget who he is. So if Martin disappeared, I wouldn't notice. Hardy, I wouldn't notice. Powell, of course. Lively, I'm he was pretty good tonight, but if he disappeared, it would take about a month before I went.
Did you see the weird pregame thing that happened with him?
No.
So I'm glad you didn't, because it fired up our staff beyond belief. Mavs PR put out that he was out for like injury management, and then Kid was like, nope, he's playing. So for like 10 minutes, the internet was like incandescent rage. And then of course he played. And it's like, I just want to see the guy play. The guy, it's easier to criticize him about his play when he plays. It's easier to praise him and what he could grow towards when he plays. And I think it's safe to say that the Mavericks needed him tonight. Like, did he have an overwhelming game? No, but they needed another big guy, and he was it.
He played really well, but at one point, Followell said, hey, look, apparently Lively's still got some gas left in the tank. They're going to put him back in. And I looked
like
at the box score.
Aging warhorse or something.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's amazing that he's got something left in the tank after he's played 14 minutes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
what
really
a game.
Funny. Really
so
funny.
Lively, I wouldn't notice. AD, I wouldn't notice. He's AD. Powell, I'm not sure if he's still on the team, but we all love him. But if he got traded away, wouldn't notice.
Not
so
for
it's
a while,
Lively.
at least.
Yeah, Lively, Hardy, Martin, Powell, AD are guys that, go ahead. You can move them. And the guys I think we should move right now are Clay. So Clay had a play at the end of the second quarter. So you didn't watch the first half.
Mm-mm.
You might have to go back and see this. There was a rebound that he caught, and as he was coming down with it, the opposing player simply just took it away from him like he was a little girl. Like he just like, no, okay, good. Nobody important took that rebound, or nobody that's strong enough to stop me. So he literally just snatched it from his hands. Then they went back down to the other side of the court, and he got a wide open, beautiful corner three, and he hit the side of the backboard. And I'm thinking to myself, like, he is a absolutely wonderful situational player for some team. And he was, when we got him, he was a perfect fit, but he's not anymore. I don't think he fits this team. And I hope that they can move him. And I hope some team right now says, hey, we're a corner three guy away from being where we want to be, so we can make a good offer.
I think that's got to be the hope, more or less.
I think you can generally get more than people think, because every team thinks we're one guy away, and a lot of times they're willing to give up more than one would think. So I'm optimistic about trades. D'Lo, I also think, is just in the wrong situation for him.
I mean, the right situation for D'Lo might be like never playing basketball again. There's just something like, he is a talented player.
Yeah.
Who just seems to he's been on so many teams. He was number 2 player drafted in his year. And there's just something about him where it's like, do you remember the feeling around Grant Williams?
Yes. Same thing.
Like that. Where it's like, God dang, I'm tired of watching this fucking guy. And I don't know why, because as I mentioned on the other show, like, they need him to soak up minutes. They just do, because it's like Brandon Williams can't do it by himself. And, Dante Exum's going to, needs like a knee, a brand new leg or whatever the hell's wrong with him. So that, it's nuts.
D'Lo is like yourself. I really wasn't familiar with this game that much before this year. Maybe you were and I wasn't, but you're wondering why everybody wants to get rid of a guy with this much talent. And I think it comes down to he is very situationally stupid.
Yes.
Like I mean, everybody's seen that little video of him dancing around for 21 seconds and then handing it to Najee. And there's just so many plays like that where you go, do you just not understand like, are you new to the sport? Because you've got all the talent, but you do things that are just incredibly stupid. And that's his problem. So I don't know, maybe there's a situation where he fits. There's an offense that's better for him, but we're not it. Because I'd rather see Brandon Williams going up and down the court at full speed than seeing D'Lo be stupid. But then he does heat up, like, from time to time. It's a little bit like watching Hardaway, right? Where all of a sudden, every once in a while, he's on fire and he hits 6 3-pointers in a row, which we haven't seen yet, but it could happen.
Yep.
So,
no, I agree.
So that's my list. And then there's Kyrie is in the other situation. But if we kept those 7 guys and then liquidated everybody else to maximize profits on them and draft capital, I'd watch every game for the rest of the season.
Sorry, I got an email that was annoying me, but yes. So, well, I'm glad you took some good notes because you took better notes than me because I was messing around tonight. But as always, appreciate you joining the show. You got a good weekend ahead.
I have tons and tons and tons of work to do. I've got stuff I can't really share on here, but the most amazing project of the last 10 years going on next week. I'll tell you maybe sometime off air. Very cool dealio. But it's very exciting for me, but I'm going to have to be working in preparation for it all weekends, and I'll find some time to watch.
You're an early go to bed guy. Get your butt to bed soon.
I will. I've got about an hour before it's bedtime, maybe a little bit less than that, and then I'll be up at 4:30 in the morning and rolling. So,
all right, man. Good luck tomorrow, then. All right.
Thank you, Kirk. Great talking to you always. Have a great one.
All right, bye. All right, coming up next is Jason. How you doing, Jason?
Doing all right. I'm still trying to. I guess it's interesting how we have different point of views watching the game. I love Glenn. I just thought Daniel Cavert looked awful tonight, and I'm really, really, really worried that his ankle is just, I don't know, he's hurt. He just felt very unimpactful, very slow. And when Derek Lively came into the game, when they make the bid run in the third, they had him out at halftime as the starter, and then in the fourth, when they actually were battling back and forth, Lively was also out there. So I think they have to trade him this trade deadline. I love him. I love his energy, but he has not looked right this whole season, and I think they just got to get out while he has value.
Mm-hmm. I don't really disagree, and I don't know what the value is. I think there value?
You traded 1.5 firsts for him. Yeah, you traded the first, and you trade like the pick swap with OKC. I think you just have to get two couple seconds, or maybe a protected first, and just say, so be it. We have luxury tax issues. Just get out of the contract. So be it.
Yep. Well, I think that's a fair take. Anything about the game that you were into though tonight?
I mean, we talked about Coop. Coop is fucking awesome. Like
we should rave about Coop often. Part of what I don't mind hearing people give similar answers because like talking about Coop is fun. So
they go to him in the clutch, and that is honestly kind of insane to me. Like Jason Kidd and all these veteran players, they freeze him out the whole game, but they continue to go to him in the clutch, and he just attacks the basket and just gets points.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I mean, just amazing to watch that.
It's fun. It's the thing that I'm looking forward to is like what happens if he actually hits a 3? You know what I mean? Like what happens if he hits a 3 ever? I feel like he hasn't hit one in a while. That's not true. He hit a corner 3 a couple games ago. But there's just if the 3 goes down at even like a just below league average rate, I think that gets the defenders a step closer to him. And then I think that opens up these driving lanes even more.
Yeah, I have no worry about the shot. Honestly, I have no worry about some of the finishing problems we saw early. Like,
No,
he's
he's
a
not
free
had
throw
'em.
shooter. He's a hard worker. It's gonna get sorted out in the next couple.
That's what's crazy is like we're talking about stuff in a week-to-week basis where it's just, oh, hey, his finishing sucks, and then 11 games later, hey, he made 12 and 19. It's good stuff. It's really
and I
good
really
stuff.
liked his getaway passes. Just I think Max Christie a couple times there, developing pretty good chemistry. Just off a live ball.
That's just basketball. Like
basketball IQ, it's great.
But seeing it in action, there's just something lovely about it because we've had instances where you just guys don't see those looks. They don't see them. And you'd think it'd be like a basketball one-on-one play, but like everything's going so fast. I guess and some guys just don't want to make the risk, but his willingness to just kick ahead in almost every opportunity, like the ball. And the reason we're talking about this for anybody that's kind of confused is the ball moves faster than players. And there's it goes back to very basics of basketball. It's like, don't pound the dribble, just move the ball as quickly as you can. The defense can't adjust if you keep moving the ball. And then that's what Cooper's really good at. Like he passed to Najee Marshall, just completely willing for that three that effectively won the Mavericks the game.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff. And I guess the one thing I just have to get off my chest, I hate Jaden Hardy so much. Like, he just pisses me off every time I watch him. He even played well tonight. He made shots, and you have to play him because B-Well is not it. Like, you can't just play B-Well the whole game and D'Lo's out, so you have to play him. But oh my god, he didn't have a bad game, but he just so sloppy with the ball, and it just reminds me, like, these guys are just not good at taking care of the ball. Even this game, they have 20 assists. They have 20 turnovers. They have 20 turnovers every game. Same last game. I don't know. Like, this point guard thing is the real issue.
That's right. It is, and they'll have to figure it out at some point. But anyway. All right, man. Thanks so much for joining.
All right. Thanks, all. Have a good night.
All right. Before I bring my guy, Ash Boying, up on stage, I'm going to insert some ads here, and then I'm also going to answer a question from Xander Turner. So, again, listen to the ads. There's links in the show notes if you just are interested at all in supporting the show directly. Very much appreciate you. We will be right back. Before I go to Ash Boying, Xander Turner asks this question. I'd like to hear your rankings of these three in terms of who you'd want to keep versus trade value, PJ Lively and Max, and why. Oh, good question. So let's just scrap, let's say we could trade PJ right now, I would probably rank in terms of who I would want to keep the most for building. I would want to keep PJ. I would want to keep Max, and then I would want to keep Lively. That is because I value availability, and Lively just hasn't shown it. Max is kind of an Iron Man in that regard, but he's a little smaller and he just can't dribble. So that's why I have him second. And PJ, even though he's the oldest, I think his game will age well. I think he'll be a guy that can play into his mid-30s and kind of keep doing the same thing, maybe at a slightly diminished clip. It's not like he's approaching 30, but he'll get there eventually. In terms of trade value, I think you have to go reverse order just due to salary. Lively is the way he has played. I have no idea what kind of second rookie contract he's going to make. He doesn't deserve what Brian Windhorst would call the fun max, at least right now, because he hasn't played enough and his numbers aren't that good. Max is making kind of like an ideal contract. And then PJ is pretty expensive. At least he'll get there. His deal is still pretty darn good though. So Max and PJ are kind of, in my opinion, closer than you'd think in trade value. So at least that's where I land. All right, gonna bring up my friend Ash Boying. Thanks so much for the questions, Xander Turner. What's up, man?
So to answer that question, I actually have a different opinion than you.
Sure.
I would rather trade PJ. Age, and I think he's kind of a little bit duplicative of Cooper Flagg.
He is, yeah.
But Cooper's better. So
yes.
And I'm going to throw some numbers at you to actually illustrate my reasoning for that. But then secondly, you're right on Lively. I'd like to move Lively because of the availability.
I really like Lively. This sort of stuff where it's like I need my centers playing 25 minutes a game, if not more.
Right.
Not 16 minutes and wondering about availability. That's all. And I reserve the right to change my mind if he goes on a 10-game run where he looks like he did his rookie year.
Well, and that's one of my notes is that, the defense just looks better when Lively is in there. I mean, it just does. There's an intimidation factor. Seems like the perimeter guys are much, closer to the ball handler, mainly because, if they get beat, they got, that 7'4" wingspan to help them out. So,
Yeah.
but that was one of my notes. Now I'm going to throw some Cooper numbers at you. 9 games ago, we played the Pelicans. That was the first night that Cooper got to play forward for most of his minutes.
Yes.
And since that game, he has averaged 18.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 2.6 stocks per game. Now, and I don't think the stocks thing is I think, now that he's playing his natural position, it's easier for him to block shots from the weak side and get steals and roam and things like that. So, now this is going to astound you. He's 62.5% in those 9 games on 2-point shots. 62.5%.
Sounds like a good basketball player.
Oh yeah, and if he could hit a three at just 33% clip, because he's hitting 25% three-pointers. That's the only part of his game that is weak right now. I mean, honestly, and if he hits it, it's simply 35%, which is about league average. He's a 20-point scorer, and perversely, he's only making 64.5% of his free throws in those 9 games. You would expect that number to go up because he's a really good free throw shooter.
Yep.
So, and more telling is 9 games ago, we were in pretty much the same situation with the Pelicans that we were in tonight. And we went to Cooper and we lost by what, a point, I believe?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds that's what my memory says.
Yeah, 9 games.
Yeah.
We hand the ball to Cooper in clutch time. This time, we win the game. He's learning. That's why I say that he's like the Borg. And I don't know if you're a Star Trek guy or not.
I definitely am.
They just, in that show, they learn and then they assimilate you. And that's what Cooper is going to assimilate the NBA. He is. You can just see it. So that's really what I've got tonight. It just because I didn't get to watch the whole game. I'd probably have a lot more if I got to watch the whole game. But
Sure.
I did catch bad night for Richardson ISD. All 3 of their teams lost tonight. So.
Poor kid. I mean, I'm just watching this game. First play of the game, they run a swing pass, and the guy who catches the swing pass catches it just right above his shoelaces, and it's a catch. But as he's rising up, gets destroyed and fumbles. And fumbles the ball. Capel scored 3 plays later, and then they were just playing catch up the whole game. It was
right.
I felt bad for him. It's just one of those.
Well, I'm happy for Capel because every year when my kids were playing, the goal was to be playing after Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Capel's going to get to play at least 1 game after Thanksgiving. They've got the defending state champions.
But then we get to go to high school basketball, which is also real fun, and the games are even shorter.
And who has the best gym in the area is Capel.
It is. It makes me sick. I learned. It makes me sick that I never got to play in it because it's an arena. But it's very funny because nobody goes to the games. It just looks empty all the time.
That is a great venue. We played there in the playoffs one year. Played South Grand Prairie, and that's just a great venue.
Well, just for any Dallas adjacent people, Dallas Fort Worth, go catch yourself a high school basketball game this winter because you forget you watch these NBA games and the NBA games just never end. They're 2 hours and 40-minute endeavors. A high school varsity basketball game from tip off to when the game ends is an hour 15 tops. Mm-hmm. And you get to see really funny stuff too, where it's like I'm like sitting there shaking my fist at this kid getting a ball reversal, like taking an extra dribble before passing. I'm like, why'd you dribble? It's just it's great.
It's great. He's 17.
That's exactly right. as a kid. I can see why people. I never watch college anymore either, just because I don't have the time. And it's like watching this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this is why I would. If I didn't have children, I would just watch sports all the time, all the time.
Well, they will grow up because I've got the boys
That's
that
right.
left the house, and my daughter is much more comfortable with her mother than she is with I am, and so I'm starting to have a lot of free time on my hands. So.
Well, we got another basketball game tomorrow night because the Mavericks, that'll be their 5th game in 7 nights, and they're playing the Memphis Grizzlies. And
I'd caution you about your optimism over tomorrow night because the Memphis seems to always play well against the Mavericks.
My optimism came in the form of I think that's the last game they win for like 2 weeks. Like that. They have a brutal schedule because it'll be something like, let me just go check it here. They've played 12, it'll be their 13th game at home. Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they're almost out of home games actually. So I mean, and that's going to make March and April they're just never going to be at home.
Never. They play 19 of 32 after February 1st on the road.
And so the good news is the television, we can watch it on television. So.
That's right. Well, and I like the different start times. Like the Mavericks games that start at 7:30, like actively piss me off. And they do it specifically because people in Dallas don't get to the arena on time. And it's just like change your start time. Make it 7:30, make it 7 o'clock. The tip off goes at 7:10 instead of 7:40. Like people who want to be at the games will be there. Like when you delay the games because people can't quote get there, then they're going to get there even later. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It drives me nuts.
Dallas has always been a late arriving crowd because you've got what I used to call the cocaine and booze job. That like to be fashionably late. So it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So if the game starts at 7:40, they'll get there at 8. And if the game starts at 7:40, you're up till 11 o'clock. So
I hate it. And that's me, like that's my personal whine. Like it's my favorite part is like I was hanging out with somebody tonight and they're like, yeah, do you ever go to the games? I'm like, nope, because you got to get there 2 hours in advance and then media people stay 2 hours afterwards. And I don't want to die. So
no, but I mean, we've taken and I live very close to Coppell, but we've taken the DART line down. I guess it's the North Texas Tollway Authority. There's a stop right by the arena. So we just take that down.
No, the dart element is good. And it's just I just remember from the other guys that did media before I was like willing to take the dart when I didn't know my way around the city or was like relearning it. And it's just it's difficult. Like you kind of got to get on the last train out before it closes after the game. And
you're right. No, you're right about that. That's when a 7 o'clock start would be great.
That's right. That's right. Well, everybody, the second half of this show, you get your gamely dose of Ash Boyne talking to I about local geography and local football. So thank you for keeping the show going. I appreciate you tuning in as always. Okay.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Talk soon. Okay. Like I said, Josh and I are going to be back tomorrow night. So everybody enjoy your Saturday. Go Mavs.